Well, hello everyone. My name is John Brenneman. I'm the president here at MOA Vacations, and we're joined today by our good friend Andrew Bruning from Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Andrew, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me today, John. Really appreciate it.
Excellent. We've got some exciting news. We've got a lot going on in November. But before we get started, just a couple of things for those of you who may not have been in a webinar before. We are recording this webinar. So later this afternoon or evening, depending on what time zone you're in, you will receive an email that will include a link to this webinar so you can watch it again or share it with your friends and family. One hint I always give people is we started right on the hour, so we have, say, 35 minutes in. Andrew or I say something that you want to revisit, just make a note of your watch or your phone or whatever you keep time on. And that way you don't have to watch the entire webinar to get back to that point that you want to revisit. In just a second, I'm going to talk a little bit about MOA Vacations and what makes us kind of special, why we should be your travel agency of choice. And then I'm going to turn it over to Andrew. Andrew is going to go over Regent and all of the promotions we have going on in November. I normally wait to the end to say this, but when we get into it, there are a lot of different specials. Some are combinable, some are not, but it's just going to give you an overview of everything that's available, all the opportunities you have to save money or receive free onboard credit. But I'm going to say this again at the end. Your best bet is to contact us, either email us or call us, get a hold of one of our specialists on Regent 7 Seas, and they will be able to find you the best deal. So don't get too caught up in trying to keep track of all the promotions and what combines and what doesn't. It's a lot. With that being said, oh, and did I mention we're going to have a Q&A at the very end? So after we go through all of that, Andrew and I will stick around for as long as it takes to answer everybody's questions. In fact, I'm actually going to be answering questions during Andrew's presentation, but I'll revisit that again. So real quick, this slide here kind of gives a quick overview on MOA Vacations and who we are, and kind of what we would say is our four value propositions. The four things that kind of make us unique in the travel industry, the four reasons why we should be your travel agency of choice for not only your Regent cruises, but for all of your vacation travel. And the first one we always talk about is our superior level of service. We are and continue to be the only travel agency in the United States that provides travel on a satisfaction guaranteed basis. And that means exactly what it sounds like. If you have an issue before or during your trip, you contact us and we'll get it resolved to your satisfaction. In almost every instance, I personally handle those issues. There are a few occasions if I'm traveling or I'm out of the office that Mike Tyrell, our vice president, may assist you with those. But if you have an issue, in most cases, you're going to talk directly to me, and then I talk directly to Andrew, whoever the vendor may be, to get that resolved. We do guarantee the lowest price. In fact, in a lot of instances, we actually have prices lower than the lowest price. And one thing to keep in mind when we start talking about some of these discounts, and in most of the cases, these are discounts off what you could get by going direct to Regent 7 Seas or going direct to another travel agency. They're like what I like to call true savings. Free amenities. We do have a MOA exclusive amenity program. Regent participates. I'm sure you're going to hear this a couple of times today, but Regent, in recognition of your past and current service, offers you a $250 onboard credit on any ship, any sailing. And that is a minimum. We have some group departures where that might be an enhanced, where instead of 250, it might be, $600 on some groups. There are some promotions this month where that's increased as well, and we'll get into those. But no matter what ship or sail date you pick, you always receive a minimum of $250 onboard credit. And then the last thing we always talk about is, since we are a MOA's travel agency and we work with members across the country, when we set up group departures, it is your opportunity to travel with your fellow MOA members, not from your local city or your local chapter, but from all across the country. And I can tell you, we get nothing but rave reviews from members who go on one of our group departures, because the added enjoyment they have of experience in whatever that destination is with their fellow MOA members, that camaraderie that you receive. So it is an excellent opportunity. If you've never been on a MOA group departure, it's certainly something I would highly recommend. So that's kind of real quick who Moa Vacations is. You're here, so that means you have some knowledge of us. So no reason to talk about that much more. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or drop me an email. I'm always willing to talk to members. But we're all here today to hear about Regent and all the different programs they have going on. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrew. Just a reminder, we are doing a Q&A at the end. I am going to answer questions during Andrew's presentation. If it's something that I think everybody will be interested in, I'm going to bring it up again at the very end. But as questions come to mind, feel free to drop them in the chat. If it's an easy answer, I'll just type it. If it's something that I think everybody will be interested in, we'll revisit that at the end. To ask a question, if you go kind of the bottom of your screen, either your mouse or your cursor, if you use your finger, if you're on your laptop or your phone, you'll see a couple conversation bubbles come up that says Q&A. Just type your question in there, and we'll make sure we get all of your questions answered. We want to do whatever we can to not only get you on a Regent all-inclusive luxury cruise, but we want to do it at the best possible value. And that value will include not only a discount, but free onboard amenities. So Andrew, tell us more about Regent Seven Seas.
Well, thank you, John. First off, everyone, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your service. Here at Regent, we definitely appreciate our service members in the United States. So thank you for that, and also for your time today. So thank you for joining us or listening to this later at a different time. As John mentioned, I am going to take you through the Regent experience. What sets us apart from the other entities in the luxury segment, the value behind Regent, and why we think that we should be your next vacation. Before we get into that, I am going to turn my camera off just so you can see the full screen of the presentation, and I will revisit you afterwards, and we can talk through that Q&A that John mentioned. So getting into who we are, what we do. So a little bit more about Regent Seven Seas Cruises. We are a small ship, all-inclusive product that travels all around the world except for expedition cruises. We are passionate about travel. We're passionate about luxury. As I mentioned, we're small ships. We have suites that range from 301 square feet all the way up to over 4,400 square feet. So even though our ships are considered small, the real estate on board is exceptional. We really set ourselves apart from the other competition in the luxury segment. And we also are way more affordable when it comes to travel than expected. When you really stack us up against a contemporary brand or even a premium product, with those onboard purchases and the cruise purchase and all those nickel and dimings that they do throughout your voyage, if you were to stack those two up together, we come out to be relatively the same or sometimes less expensive. So really consider luxury as your next vacation, as it is as affordable to you as those premium products are. One thing I do like to touch on is we are the cruise for unforgettable memories. This is something that we pride ourselves on. Now, we give our guests incredible TLC throughout every single voyage, but if you're celebrating an anniversary, a milestone birthday, a celebration, a retirement, a promotion, whatever the case that may be, we are the Unforgettable Moment Cruise Lines. We want you to come on board with us. We want you to capitalize on the incredible opportunity to do that vacation in luxury, splurge for yourself a little bit, and treat yourself to our product, which we, again, though we do give that TLC, will go above and beyond to make that moment extremely special for you. As I mentioned previously, we are the perfectly sized ship. So we are a small ship. You can kind of see us here stacked up against some of the contemporary brands that are out there. We're the obviously small vessel with the arrow pointing at it. That's the Voyager, which is one of our classic ships, which is extremely beautiful, extremely luxurious. But Harmony of the Sea is sitting next to her, and you could probably put two and a half Voyagers inside that ship. So there's no lines, there's no waiting. Vacation is an ease. You check in, you go to your suite. There's no waiting to get into the comedy club that night or having to show up 2 hours early to get a seat. There's no rush. It's the true relief of responsibility when it comes to vacationing. You kind of do what you want when you want to, and it's absolutely amazing. And again, there's no crowds. There's room in all of our bars, lounges, restaurants for all of our guests on board the ship. What sets us apart from the other entities in the luxury segment? Well, it's these four brand pillars within our promise. So we have immersive exploration, personalized service, Epicurean perfection, unrivaled space at sea, and then our product promise of the all-inclusive luxury. So I would like to walk you through each one of these pillars, starting off with immersive exploration, where we have an array of different items that you can participate in to really immerse yourself into that destination. If it's your first time there or it's your third or fourth time in that destination, we have different opportunities for you to create a completely different and unique experience as you immerse yourself into the culture, the culinary, the locals, whatever it may be in that particular destination. And here you can see that we have a long list, starting off with, as I mentioned, we are an inclusive product, so majority of our shore excursions are going to be included. We have free and limited excursions in every port that offers the infrastructure, which means you can do as many tours as time allows within that destination. And then we have an array of others that do have a little cost associated with them, but as John mentioned, we have that program, that VIP program, where you're getting a $250 minimum shipboard credit, which can be applied to the cost of these tours. So you have our Regent Choice excursions, which are going to be unique experiences in the sense of maybe having a helicopter to the Mendenhall Glacier or a behind-the-scenes tour of the Vatican that's exclusive to Regent. We have our Regent Choice small group experiences, which max at 16 passengers to participate in that tour. That gives you a more one-on-one experience with our tour guides and to ask questions and be more immersed. We have Go Local tours, again, for those individuals who may have been in that destination before. These are really cool off the beaten path experiences. Epicurean Explorer tours, which I'll go over in a video here in a moment, but they're chef-led culinary experiences. Wellness tours surrounded by yoga and Pilates and self-help and rejuvenation. Executive collections and bespoke arrangements where we can create custom tours for you, custom land programs. If there's something that's not on our tour list that you would like to do, or maybe there is something on the tour list that you would like to do as a smaller group with your family or travel companions, we can create that for you as well. We have pre and post overland programs, many of them free promotionally. Mid-cruise overland programs, you know, to get you into these sites and destinations that are further inland in the middle of your cruise if there's something you'd like to go see. A must-do pre and post-cruise hotel programs. We do have a free hotel night on the pre-cruise in our concierge levels and above, which is a must. It also gives you, you know, this gives you the opportunity to explore that embark and debark city, but also gives you that opportunity to have a buffer in case travel hiccups happen. You know, flying is, you know, anything can happen to delay a flight, weather, whatever it may be. As much time that you have to give yourself some space to get to that destination and not have to go straight to the ship, where you can still relax and give yourself time, is definitely recommended. We offer also in-port overnights, which we pride ourselves on. We actually have a set of cruises based on these overnights, which I'll discuss later, which are an incredible opportunity to explore these destinations. And we touch on over 350 UNESCO World Heritage Sites throughout the world. So we can check a lot of boxes for your destinations and for your experiences outside of expedition. But the spot, you know, immersive explorations doesn't stop when you get back on board the ship. We have spotlight cruises that are enhanced, one-of-a-kind shoreside and onboard experiences that are, you know, featured programs that are like culinary, winemaking, journalism, filmmaking, Broadway. We have a golf spotlight. We have an F1 spotlight. So these are just incredible, in-depth experiences that we offer. Lectures on board, meet and greet, cocktail parties, performances, demonstrations, all sorts of different activities surrounding that particular theme, with also onshore pre and post land packages and tours that are associated with it as well. So, you know, as I mentioned, we have F1, we have golf, which I'll get into a little bit later, but we bring on, you know, PBS. We brought on Glenn Eiffel before. We brought on the cast of Downton Abbey when that was coming to an end. A lot of individuals from that PBS station, which we know and trust when it comes to the media and all sorts of different items. So it's a really great opportunity to learn, not only immerse yourself in these destinations for enjoyment, but come home with knowledge about them as well, and different areas of expertise. Here we have personalized service. This is actually our number one product on board the ship is our service. This is what really keeps bringing our guests back to our brand, is the anticipation of your needs goes away when they learn you. The more you sail with us, the more they know about you. They remember your name, they remember your face, your likes, your dislikes. You start to learn about their family, they learn about yours. It's a very open door family-esque environment with a almost one guest or one crew member to every 1.5 guests on board. So this is a very exceptional experience when it comes to service. We have a high retention rate when it comes to our crew, so they are experienced in our brand. We have the best in the industry. We do a rigorous training program for our crew on board. This is exceptional and absolutely one of the reasons why our guests return. Next, we have Epicurean Perfection, where we bring all sorts of different culinary experiences on board with our culinary arts kitchen, with our array of different restaurant venues on board, where we have open sitting, plenty of tables for 2, 4, 6, 10. All of our specialty venues are complimentary. We offer 24-hour room service, but I did want to kind of take a step back and touch on one of our culinary experiences that are very unique, where we take those chef-led tours on, with our guests and our chefs from on board, and you go into these areas and you do wine tastings in restaurants, and you go to local owned farms and locally owned vineyards, and you learn about those products. And here I just have a short video of the manager of our culinary arts department, Chef Kelly, taking you through one of the experiences at a spice farm in Belize.
My name's Catherine Kelly, and I am the founder and the manager of our culinary arts program. So the way the Epicurean Explorer Tours work is the guests assemble in the culinary arts kitchen in the morning with the chef instructor who explains what we're going to do today, where we're going to go, and the sequence of the day. We venture off the ship. Sometimes we go to a market, sometimes we go to a farm, sometimes we go to meet a local host who may be an artisanal producer. So, for example, when we go to the spice farm in Belize, we're met by our hosts, the owners. We get on a tractor and a trolley, and we ride through the spice farm, where they pick off various spices, flowers, and ingredients, and share those with the guests as we are wandering our way through the spice farm. Our hosts are such an important part of our tour. They love greeting our guests, sharing their farms, their local cultures, their family traditions, their favorite recipes. After our visit with our local hosts, we'll come back to the ship. Sometimes we have a cooking class where, for example, for Belize, we experimented with all kinds of different spices and things that we harvested there at the farm. Our guests always enjoy this intimate, chef-led experience. They make friends amongst themselves in this small group. They love hanging out with the chef and learning new things. So come taste the world with us.
If you haven't been on board before with us and experienced one of those tours, we actually did one, my wife and I, last year when we went on board for our anniversary, and in combination with the tour and the culinary arts kitchen on board, learning to be a self-proclaimed chef, learning all those things that your at-home cooks don't have the knowledge of from not going to culinary school or anything like that. It's just a fun, engaging, over-the-top experience when it comes to the culinary arts kitchen. I highly recommend it, with authentic flavors and all sorts of different things that we combine, plus that onboard or onshore experience. In my opinion, it's a must-do. It's a couple hours that my wife and I talk the most about when it comes to that previous vacation we were on. But dining options on board, we have an array of different options, 7 different venues depending on what ship you're on in the fleet. Starting off with Settimari at La Veranda, which is our Italian venue. It's absolutely divine with all the Italian classics from bolognese to Southern Italian seafood to a lightly breaded bone-in veal chop that's absolutely divine. I highly recommend it. Chartreuse is our French venue with classical French cuisine, from foie gras to the seared duck and all sorts of different wines from the wine-producing regions of France. La Veranda, which is our breakfast and lunch buffet, again turns into the Italian restaurant in the evening. Pacific Rim is our Pan-Asian restaurant, which is absolutely exceptional. This is my favorite venue on board with flavors from all over Asia. We have Prime 7, which is our USDA Prime Steakhouse. From anything from a 6-ounce filet to a 32-ounce porterhouse. It's your classic surf and turf. You can get lobster tails, you can get king crab, and it's all included. And we have Compass Rose, which is the picture that you see here. It's actually onboard Explorer with that beautiful wave chandelier in the middle, the sunburst chandeliers in the back, American and European fares. I mean, an absolutely divine restaurant. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we have our 24-hour room service on board, where you can, get a meal after a tour at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or if you just want a nibble at midnight or early in the morning, or even late in the evening, whatever the case may be, post dinner and want a snack, you can order to your suite then as well. All of these venues are included. There is no additional cost to our specialty restaurants. But there are reservations required because some of them are a little bit smaller, but we want to try to give the opportunity to all of our guests to enjoy them. Chartreuse, Pacific Rim, and Prime 7 are also open for lunch. So if you do not get a evening reservation, we do have lunch available as well. As I mentioned, that promise, us being the most all-inclusive luxury experience out there, if you really were to stack us up against any other entity in the luxury segment, onshore or on sea, we would be the most inclusive product. Starting off with that specialty dining that I mentioned, it's all included. Premium drinks on board, from wines to different types of liquors. We do not use well beverages. We use Kettle One, Grey Goose, Maker's Mark, for example. We have, as I mentioned, for wines, we have a staple that we bring on board. But as we travel through all these incredible wine-producing regions around the world, we ensure that we bring all of those on as well to really give you flavors of those destinations. Unlimited shore excursions that I discussed. We have Wi-Fi on board. Our entire fleet is retrofitted with Starlink, so you have LTE or 4G connectivity while you're at sea. Great for those to stay and connected with the family at home, or if you need to work while you're out and about. We also have our pre-cruise hotel program. As I mentioned, it's a one-night pre-cruise hotel in our concierge level and above. Gratuities are included. We are a cashless society. Once you purchase your cruise with us, there is no additional purchases needed on top of that once you board the ship, unless you choose to. And we also have our valet laundry service. So this is a great opportunity for those who like to pack light, who do not want the responsibility of ironing their shirts or attire for the evening. Let us take care of it for you. Let us relieve you of that responsibility, and where we return your attire smelling amazing, perfectly ironed and crisp, and ready for you to put on for the evening. Regent does offer an air program as well. It is at an additional cost. We actually have 2 different fare structures that we offer, as we have the all-inclusive cruise fares, which is essentially everything that I just mentioned to you on that previous list included without airfare. And then we have our ultimate all-inclusive fares, which is essentially adding the air product in at a cost, which every gateway would have its own individual costs for the airfare, but you have the flexibility to move in between classes, all the way from economy up to first class, domestically and intercontinentally, where the destinations allow. And it's all about choice and flexibility. If you are price conscious and you want to fly economy or premium, that is available to you. If you are traveling and basing it on your comfort as you move through these countries. Business or first class is available to you as well. So these also include transfers when you take our air product. So we will pick you up via motor coach in all the destinations from the airport to a hotel if you purchase it through us or have our free one night, from that hotel to the ship, and vice versa on the post end. With our airfare, we also add in a luxury private chauffeur service, which is Black Lane, and we have a $500 credit or voucher that you can apply towards a Black Lane transfer up to 10 days prior to your cruise until 10 days post your cruise. You can use this. So even if you do independent arrangements, you can use this Black Lane. And that Black Lane is exceptional because you can, again, the timeline in which you can use it, you can have us pick you up from your home and take you to the ship. We can have you picked up from the airport and to that hotel, from that hotel to the ship, etc. on the post end as well. You can even use it in port if you want to go into a destination and take Black Lane that way. We have a 100-mile radius with our Black Lane. We use luxury vans and SUVs. So in the United States, it's going to be Yukon's suburban level. Overseas is going to be Mercedes vans and things along those lines. And we allow up to 4 bags for that particular transfer. So wherever you don't use this, if you take our air product, we will fill in the gaps with the motor coaches, but this just gives you a higher level of luxury and ultimate comfort and convenience when you're traveling with Regent 7 Seas Cruises. So where does this all happen? Well, I do have another short video of our Grandeur, which is our newest ship in the fleet, which is the 3rd Explorer class vessel. So we do have 3 ships that are unique or that are similar in the build, but unique when it comes to interior design and color palettes. But this gives you an idea of what our hardware looks like of our 6 ships in our fleet. All right. What a beautiful vessel. She's absolutely stunning and luxurious. Before we move on to the entertainment portion, I did want to mention that we are releasing a new ship here coming up that I'll talk about here in a moment, actually. But we're excited to have join our fleet. This was supposed to be after, so I'm a little mixed up, but let's go with the entertainment real quick. So entertaining on board, we have an array of different opportunities for entertainment. We bring on Broadway shows. We have created Broadway shows on board that are in our Constellation Theater. There's our casino throughout all of our vessels. We have comedians, musicians, magicians, all sorts of different offerings to keep you entertained throughout your voyage. We also have a Regent signature orchestra that play quite a bit. We have pianists in all of our lounges. We have show acts in all of our lounges. So you will not find an area or you will not be in an area of the ship that is boring by any means. So this is absolutely wonderful. We have headliners that come on board. You know, we have all sorts of different opportunities. And we also bring on lecturers, even outside of the spotlight vacations that we have planned that are, you know, tailored to those particular themes. If we are in an area that has some historical value, which we travel to a lot of, we do bring like Smithsonian lecturers on board and professors. We bring on World War II experts, all sorts of different individuals to really cover those destinations that we're in, even if it's not a spotlight on that particular voyage. As I mentioned, we do have a new ship coming out, the Seven Seas Prestige. We are very excited about this. It's a completely new build from the other classes of ships that we have in our fleet, Grandeur being the last Explorer class vessel at 750 guests. You know, when it comes to the size of the ship, we are expanding the Prestige to be 13% bigger. And when it comes to capacity, so she'll be around 830 to 850 guests. But we're increasing the tonnage by the ship by 40%. So that's going to give you all the opportunity to have more square footage on board, more dining opportunities, more entertainment spaces, and just excel in luxury is what our goal is with the Prestige. With everything that we hear around the water cooler talk is this is going to set the bar for luxury cruising when the ship is released, which we tend to do with our inclusions and the rest of our hardware as well. But in this particular scenario, I mean, this is going to be a game changer. I wish I could release more, but just know the ship is on the horizon, and she will go on sale in Q2 of 2025 and actually set sail in December of 2026. Going in with that theme of having more space and more entertainment spaces, etc. on board, going into the luxurious space at sea that we have, the unrivaled space at sea. As I mentioned, the crew on board are 1 to 1.5. Our guest is about 40 guests per ton compared to some of the contemporary brands that more in the 150 to 200 guests per ton. So there's a lot of luxurious space on board. Getting into the suites themselves, having sweet dreams at nighttime where you get back to your home away from home. We offer an array of options. We have a suite for everyone that gives a good night's sleep and a fresh perspective every morning. You can kind of see as we're going through these slides here. As I mentioned, the suites are 301 to over 4,443 square feet. This is that suite here. Oh, John, we always have this problem. I don't know why. I try to fix it every time. Anyways, the Regent suite is 4,443 square feet. It's going to come with free first class air, unlimited, or I'm sorry, in-suite shore excursion or in-suite spa treatments, private car and driver for shore excursions, all sorts of different additional amenities in that larger suite that keeps flashing. I'll show you one more time, so I apologize for that. This here, we do have our penthouse on board, Grandeur, cool teal colors throughout, 600 square feet. The first category to offer butler service, again, to relieve yourself of even more responsibility like packing and unpacking, being a liaison through our departments, creating reservations for restaurants and shore excursions. That individual will take care of it for you. Here we have an incredible suite at 463 square feet. It is our concierge suite, which has our free night hotel. And again, I apologize. I don't know why it keeps slipping through. I thought I fixed it again. But one more flash of that suite. It is absolutely amazing. And, those are what a lot of our entry-level suites are like on board Regent. Here we have a mention of where we travel. We go to over 550 worldwide destinations outside of Expedition again. And real quick, I do have a short video on our new voyage collection that we released that is 2026 into 2027 called Tapestry of Colors.
Experience a tapestry of colours aboard the world's most luxurious fleet. Our 6 ships will sail more than 100 voyages during the 2026 to 2027 season, including 4 new grand voyages, a first ever world cruise aboard 7 Seas Splendor, and more overnight calls on your favourite ports than ever before. And that is only the beginning of what's inside our Voyage Collection debut. 100 plus new itineraries, 6 luxurious all-suite ships, 16 new to Regent ports, 4 grand voyages, 8 immersive overnight voyages, 550 destinations, 7 continents. Get ready to embark on an adventure punctuated by unrivaled service, Epicurean perfection, and the luxury of all-inclusive comfort aboard Regent 7 Seas cruises.
And to go above and beyond that, we also offer, as mentioned in the video, our 2027 World Cruise. If you have any interest in being on board with us for 140 nights, this is an exceptional opportunity. We still have space available. It's Miami to New York on January 11th of 2027. This is an exceptionally different World Cruise because we normally have it on board the Mariner, which is a little bit smaller of a ship compared to the Splendor, but the Splendor is the sister ship to the Grandeur, which we just saw that video on. So again, more square footage when it comes to interior spaces on board, entertainment spaces, and venues when it comes to restaurants, giving our world cruisers more opportunity to expand and enjoy and immerse themselves on their onboard experiences. As I mentioned about the spotlight sailings previously, we do have that partnership with the Armico F1 team, which is the Aston Martin team, and we do have a spotlight sailing traveling on July 22nd of 2025 on board the Splendor, hosted by Pedro de la Rosa, part of the Aston Martin team, where you will learn the history of the brand. We will bring production vehicles to the ports or the piers for the guests to immerse themselves in, and then we also will have some type of driving experiences if we are near any of the courses or any of the tracks that Aston Martin operates. So this is a really great option for those who are into F1, but also for those of you who are interested in automotive in general. There will be a lot of knowledge that comes out of this spotlight and a lot of really cool meet and greet experiences and one-on-ones with the Aston Martin team. So highly recommended if you're into F1 or automotive. If you are a golf fan, we have a spotlight on golf with Annika Sorenstam, who is arguably the world's best WPGA player. She is traveling on our June 23rd sailing of 2025 on board Grandeur. It is a London to London round trip. Fantastic sailing with tons of history, with tons of onshore experiences, plus packages that you can purchase to actually golf with Annika, get some tips from her, and play some of the UK's most desirable and incredible courses and links throughout that destination. So definitely something that I recommend if you are interested in golf. I also actually like to name this particular sailing, which it's not in any of our marketing. It's my personal name for it. I call it the Course by Course Cruise, specifically for the golf portion of it. But for those who may be traveling with a golfer who are not interested, but like to indulge in the culinary experiences, again, with it being on board Grandeur, we have those Epicurean Explorer tours that go on shore. We have our culinary arts kitchen for you to play chef and create some very incredible culinary dishes on board the ship. And then, of course, the array of different masterfully made culinary experiences that we offer in all of our venues throughout the ship as well. So definitely worth looking at on both of those fronts if you have any interest. As John mentioned, we do have the opportunity to join already booked MOA members on some of these sailings, which are group related. I do want to talk about this particular product before we get into those sailings. We have what we call immersive overnights. These are these are itineraries that are 7 to 16 nights where we only go to 3 to 6 ports depending on the destination, where guests have where we actually stay in those ports, I'm sorry, for 1.5 to 2.5 days. So this is a really great opportunity and transitional piece for guests who may travel via land, who like to do, like we call in the industry, 2-3-2s, right? Where you want to spend 2 days in Barcelona, 3 days in Rome, and 2 days in Venice, where you're puddle jumping kind of from city to city, where you have to pack, you have to unpack, you have to check in for your flights, meet your car downstairs, and have an incredible amount of responsibility while you're on your vacation. This is our concept to relieve you of that responsibility, where we are the ship, the resort, the car, the transfer, the airplane, the tour guide, the restaurants, everything that you would need to have a wonderful vacation where you're hitting multiple ports and staying in those destinations for a very long time compared to any of the other port intensive itineraries in these destinations. It's also great for those who may have been to these ports before via cruise and left at 5 o'clock. You know, it's a completely different destination when the lights switch on in the evening, when it comes to the culture, the culinary, the locals, all those things, all those reasons why we travel. As in a lot of these destinations, the cruise ships are leaving and you are staying there with the locals and doing what the locals do in their evenings. So this is a great opportunity for first timers who are coming off of what we call FIT land travel, or for those who've been to these destinations before who are looking for new experiences, as we will have tours that offer ballet performances, evening shows, Michelin star restaurants for dinner, city tours in the evening, all sorts of different options to really create a unique experience for our immersive overnights. And when you book with MOA, we actually have groups on 2 of those dates. One being a round trip Tokyo onboard Explorer, which is another sister ship to Grandeur, which you saw in the video. This is a 14-night sailing on March 5th of 2025, which touches on Kyoto, Seoul, Shanghai, and Tokyo. Remember though, when it says 1 night, that actually is almost 2 full days. So you arrive early in the morning, you get that full overnight into the next day, and then we do not leave until sometime late afternoon the following day to really immerse yourself in this destination. With this particular group, you would earn a minimum of $600 of shipboard credit for booking through MOA and that opportunity to travel with other MOA members. The second option that we have for our immersive overnight groups is our Copenhagen to Stockholm 10-night sailing on board Navigator, which is one of our classic ships, our most intimate and beautiful vessels at 490 guests total. June 27th of 25, where you touch Copenhagen, Berlin, Helsinki, and Stockholm, both Berlin and Stockholm for up to almost 2.5, close to 3 days. Again, a $600 shipboard credit here to immerse yourself in the destination, purchase tours, purchase spa treatments, whatever it may be that you'd like to use that shipboard credit for. And again, travel with MOA members. Additional MOA offers that we have out there as partners with MOA and them being partners of Regent. As John mentioned, there are up to 50% savings on select departures for booking through MOA. These are exclusive rates that MOA Vacations receive from Regent 7 Seas Cruises. So you will have to work with John and his team to figure out what those are. And those are the rates that he mentioned that are lower than the lowest published fares. These are given to exclusive accounts that we have incredible partnerships with, and MOA being one of them. As John mentioned, also, you as a MOA member, you get an exclusive offer of up to, or a minimum, I'm sorry, of $250 per suite shipboard credit on all departures, which, you know, with those groups, you know, you're getting up to $600 there. So even on some of the departures that we offer, it increases that shipboard credit But again, at the bottom line, minimal. If you travel with us, you will have that 250 per suite shipboard credit. Traveling as singles, we love single or solo travelers. We have an array of sailings out right now through all destinations that offer 0 to 50% solo supplements that you can travel with us. We want you on board. If we were, out of your price range before, this select departure dates may be your opportunity to get on board with us and really experience the value of Regent. But again, we have an array of 0%, 25%, up to 50% on select sailings through 2025 and 2026. We also have our Veterans Day offer that we're running currently, which goes until the 14th of November, which is a $500 per suite shipboard credit for any new 2025 departures and $1,000 per suite shipboard credit for any new 2025 Northern Europe departures. So kind of stepping back into that immersive overnights Copenhagen to Stockholm sailing. That is what we consider a Northern Europe sailing. So if you book into that group, you have the opportunity to get the group shipboard credit and our Veterans Day offer. So those two are combinable. The only one that has any stipulations that John mentioned was the up to 50% discount. That one is the one where we start getting into items not being combinable with it. On the 15th of November, as the Veterans Day promotion ends, we are offering up to 40% off on select sailings with a promotion called the Gift of Travel. That will go from the 15th of November until December 31st. And then we have this incredible Black Friday promotion on top of that, which we add the component of $1,000 shipboard credit on those same select 40% dates. And that will run from the 15th of November until November 30th. So the Black Friday portion is only a 2-week run. The up to 40% goes until the end of the year. For joining us or booking within this time period, you will receive a exclusive offer for booking through MOA, which again is also combinable with those shipboard credit offers outside of the up to 50% discount ones. So from today until the end of the month, which is November 30th, depending on the category that you purchase and the length of sailing that you purchase, you can earn up to $2,000 off on 2026 and 2027 dates, and we will actually double this promotion for 2025 dates. So what you see here, we will double for any 2025 sailing booked before November 30th. I know it's a short runway, but there's a lot of value here, especially with some of our offers when it comes to the shipboard credits and promotional savings. So it's best to book now so you can get all of that and stack and add as much value as you possibly can. As John mentioned, if you have any question, needs, or anything, they are there to help you. If there's something that they cannot solve for you, they will come to me and my team, and we will get everything worked out for you. Again, we are here to help make your travel experience easy and responsibility free as much as we possibly can. And with that is the presentation, and I will turn it back over to John.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're very welcome.
As a reminder, if you have any questions, you should be able to put your cursor or something at the bottom of the screen, and a little menu should pull up. For some of you, that may be on the side. I think it depends on how you have Zoom set up for the display. But as of yet, we have not had any questions. So if you have any, go ahead and drop them in. I did have a couple of things. Andrew, if you wanted to send me those slides that we were having issues with, I can actually include those in the email I send out that has the link to this webinar, so people can actually see those slides. And the other thing I was going to say is I will also include a link in the email that goes out to everybody, which will include a link to a page which will list all of those exclusive MOA pricing dates. I think there's around 50 of them. It is broken down by destination. So, Africa, Asia, Mediterranean, Northern Europe, whatever all those itineraries are. So you can go to kind of the destination you want to go to, and then it will show the date, the number of the itinerary. So it shows the embarkation and then disembarkation port to give you kind of an idea. So if it says Barcelona to Athens, I think most of us kind of can guess what that itinerary is. And then if you see one or two or three or how many ever that are of interest to you, once again, give us a call or drop us an email. If you don't already have a cruise consultant, we'll get you with one of our Regent experts, and then they can actually send you that information, because I'm sure before you purchase, you're going to want to see the actual detailed itinerary. But it's just too much information to try putting on a web page. So the web page is just kind of a quick, look at it. Where do you want to go? When do you want to go? And then you can see what the options are. So I think that kind of makes sense. We have a few questions coming in now, so we'll jump over to those. Okay. I've heard stories that available excursions are sometimes booked and then you're stuck with what's left. How can I be sure I get the excursion I want? I'll let you answer this, Andrew, but isn't your best bet to book far in advance?
That is really the problem or the solution to the issue. So it's all about the booking period. Our booking curve is almost 2 years at this point. So guests are booking early, which gives them the opportunity for availability on not only for those shore excursions, but for the cruises or for the suites the desired suites that they would like. But we do open tours a year in advance from sailing. So if you are planning, people think, individuals think an 8-month plan before a trip is enough. Sometimes, especially when it comes to a product like ours, where it's small ship, we only get so much inventory from ground operators. It's always best to book as early as you can, so you can have the opportunity to hold on to those tours that you're interested in. Also, it's category based. So we do have, as I mentioned, with that free hotel program in our concierge level and above, it is also an amenity in a concierge level and above to have priority shore excursions. So when you're considering your vacation, it's only a couple $100 more per person to move in a concierge suite out of what we call a Serenity suite. And it adds a ton of value and timeline into those benefits. So again, concierge and above get a year in advance. Non-concierge suites or Serenity suites and below can book tours at 300 days in advance. So there's a 2-month window, and that's where that inventory gets eaten up a lot.
Yeah. And that's an important point. When you look at those sailings that are the 20 to 50% off, which we mentioned there's 50 of those are all 2025 departures. I don't think there's any 2024s left. If they are, it would be a late December 2024. So if you were to book one of those, and let's just say June of 2025, you're receiving a substantial savings, but you may not get first choice on excursions. That being said, most of them have ample inventory. I have gone on vacation. I've taken my family on vacation, Regent, the last 2 years. I typically don't know what my schedule is going to be the last minute. So this year, what did I do this year? I think I did Barcelona to Athens, and I think I booked it 60 days prior to departure. And I think we got really everything we wanted except maybe one city there wasn't. So it's not like if you book 5, 6 months out, you're not going to get any excursions. But depending on how important excursion, I mean, we were doing Barcelona to Athens. It's the Mediterranean, so there's a lot of different options in what you can do. If there's something you absolutely want to do, then you're probably best booking further out in advance and booking concierge and above, I guess, is the long answer to that question. The other thing is a lot of times they'll have and you'll know the name for this, Andrew, but they'll have like an excursion that's available, and then they have a small group version of it, which has a small fee to it, $99 a person or something like that. Those are more likely going to be open than the larger ones. So And personally, I like the smaller ones better. It just seems you have more time. It takes, but anyway, they're all great. Okay,
Yeah, and
somebody,
real quick to add to that, John, we do have a great history of clearing tours too. So even though something goes on wait list, it is very fluid throughout the timeline. We are able to get additional space from unused space from other entities in the industry. We also have great partnerships with ground operators. So even though it may be sold out when you book, we do our due diligence and try to get you everything that you want. That is our goal, is to make sure that you get all the tours you want. Now we don't always get there in its entirety, but as John mentioned, you're likely to get most of what you want. There just might be a port here and there that you'll still have a tour in. It just may not have been your first choice.
gotcha. Okay. Uh, Somebody asked for an example of a cruise that's 40% off. I'm assuming they are referencing the Mo exclusive deals that are 20 to 50% off. I included the link to that web page where those are all listed in the answer to that. So if people want to kind of go, if you can click on the answer screen on questions, you'll see that link there. It's relatively long. Otherwise, I'd just tell everybody what it was. But once again, you'll get a copy of this video tonight, and we'll include a link to that in the video we sent you. Okay, I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to let you expand upon it a little bit. Somebody asked, is the golf cruise exclusively just to MOA? It is not. Um, we don't have any cruises that are exclusive to MOA. If you're basically saying everyone on board would be MOA, even the groups is our group will be on a sailing with other people. If you're asking, is the special offer exclusive to MOA? I don't think you mentioned an exclusive offer with the golf cruise, but a number of the promotions that we talked about would be exclusive MOA offers. For example, like the $250 shipboard credit. If you looked at that screen that showed the additional dollars off, is that golf cruise in 2025, Andrew?
It is in 2025, yes.
Is it so that dollars off would be depending on the length of that cruise? And can you go back to that real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
You know how
That's it.
long that golf cruise is?
It's 14 nights.
14 nights. Okay, so if you look at this additional dollars off, um, okay, so the golf cruise is not exclusive, but this savings, so you look at 14 days, if you go in a penthouse, you get $550 off per person. It's 2025, so it's doubled. So if
Right.
you're in a penthouse or above, you save $1,100 per person. That is a MOA exclusive.
Per suite, sorry, not per person.
Per
Per
suite. See, this is why you're here. And it says savings per suite on the screen. I was just going to go back over to you, make sure I got that correct. So a lot of these offers that we have, the onboard credit offer, for example, that's also this month, where it would be 500 instead of 250. So there are those exclusive savings and onboard credit offers are exclusive to MOA. I think I probably answered that a lot longer than it should take. Andrew, anything else I said wrong or that you want to clarify or add to that?
Nope, right on the you hit it right on the head there, John.
Other than it's per suite, not per person.
That's right, yeah.
Somebody mentioned their first Regent cruise is in January 2026. So they said they enjoyed it. I will concur. I thought Andrew did a fantastic job. And as I mentioned, those couple of slides that just did not want to show for whatever reason, we'll include those in the email we're going to send out. It will take a little time, just so you know. We actually have to download it from Zoom. We edit this video, which is basically just cutting out the beginning. If you were on early, you might have heard Andrew and I chatting because we both got on about a half an hour early. And then we have to upload it to YouTube. We do upload a high res version, so it takes half an hour to upload it. But all told, sometime tonight, we will get you the email that will have a link to this so you can revisit it, have a link to that page and include those missing slides or whatever. So anyway, Pete, thank you for booking Regent through MOA Vacations. You're gonna have a wonderful time. Can't wait to hear about it. I did want to say something else about those excursions, and I almost forgot. When we talk about the concierge level of service we have and satisfaction guaranteed and all that, I want to make it clear, it's not if you have problems only. It is here, we are here to assist any way we can. And one of the things I've mentioned in some other videos is trip insurance, which is a great example because I just got off a cruise with 50 other travel agency owners. And from the ones that I talked to, and granted, I didn't talk to all 50, but I probably talked to at least half of them. We are the only travel agency in that group that if you have a trip insurance claim, we fill out the claim forms for you. But listen, I've been doing this. Next year will be 40 years for me, and I filled out hundreds of claim forms for MOA members, so I can do it much quicker than you can do it on your own. And it's just part of that level of service. Is if you have an insurance claim, we'll fill out the claim forms, we'll submit the claim for you, and kind of walk you through that entire process to make it as simple as possible. Likewise, there is a point to this, is if you booked your Regent and there's a shore excursion that you want that shows sold out, we consider that something that we're going to help with. I mean, we're here to help with anything that you want that you can't get, we're here to help you with. So let's say, for example, you're looking at a sailing and you want a penthouse suite and those show that those are not available. Contact us. If it's Regent, I reach out to Andrew, and between Andrew and I, we either try to make sure that if any of those penthouses open up, it opens up. If you want to get on a shore excursion, we see if we can't squeeze you on or if they can't expand that space. So that's what we're here to do. That is when we talk about we have superior service, what we do that our competition doesn't. Okay. Another thank you. You're welcome, James. Our first Regent cruise was last January in Grandeur, LA to Miami through the Panama Canal. Can't wait to go again. I got to tell you, I was lucky enough to be on the Grandeur in January. It was just a little 2-day kind of showing off the ship to their top accounts kind of thing. And the 2 vacations I've taken my family on were the Voyager and the Explorer. But yeah, next year I'm planning on going on the Grandeur as well. I was blown away by that ship. Just can't wait to get back on. So anyway, thank you, Chris. All right, we are actually 2 minutes over. I love it when we come to just on time. Okay, so if as often happens, 10 minutes, 20 minutes after we log off, or tomorrow, or whenever it is, you think of a question that you didn't get to ask now, feel free to give us a call, drop us an email. As I said, we're going to send you this webinar. We'll have our contact information, and give us a call. Let us get you with one of our Regent experts, and they can assist you to get the best possible deal on the best possible cruise that you're looking for. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I would thank you all for being MOA members. We are next week, isn't it? Is Veterans Day. So for those of you who got our newsletter that goes out the first of every month, I know it's said in there. But once again, I want to thank you all for your service. And then on behalf of all the MOA members and everybody at MOA Vacations, I want to thank Andrew for you taking time out of your schedule again. We do one of these webinars every quarter. It's a big commitment of his time. I don't know how many agencies he works with, but a lot more than just us. But he always has time for us. So thank you very much, Andrew. And I'm going to turn it over to you for the final words.
Yeah, no, thank you, John. I mean, I always have time for you for sure. You're one of our best accounts, and your team is, highly regarded here at Regent for being experts and being so helpful to all of our guests and yours as well. So again, thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate your time and your service, and we can't wait to have you on board our ships.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We hope to see you again soon.